You know, I think the early access release model that a lot of games have been doing recently has been kind of overdone in a sense. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if a game does do this, because early access is an incredible way to launch a game to a large set of players to actually play the game in a state that isn't public, so that they can finally work on the bugs and so that they can work and iron out any of the wrinkles before the game actually comes out. So it just surprises me whenever I see games that go into early access and people actually pay money to go and play these things in early access, because you're paying to play something that is largely incomplete. And that makes no sense. Why are you paying to play a game incomplete? That almost seems like a robbery in broad daylight, but yet people still do it. I've done it before, so I'm not 100% innocent in this, and I've come to realize later down in my life, in my Roblox, I guess, fucking history, that I don't need to be doing this anymore, because I'm paying for something that isn't released, that isn't finished or polished at the very least. And, here we have over, what is that? It was I think at 2,000 people earlier today was at the all-time high. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about if it's even worth buying this at its current state. I'll go ahead and say right now that I feel very indifferent about the game. I'm very neutral. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it either. I like a lot of things, but I also don't like a lot of things. And I mean, I'd go into all the pros and cons of what I like, but I think the borderline answer, the short answer to if you should pay for this right now is no. And the long answer is also probably a no, but a maybe also, at the end of that, if that even makes sense. The reason I say that is because this game does have a lot of potential, but a lot of it just feels not very ironed out. My least favorite part about this game right now is probably the combat. The combat is so jank, it is not fun to play, and for a game that is a RPG fantasy, you would think that a game that kind of hammers in, oh, well, this is like a Runeslayer-like game or a Deep Woken-like game. We take elements and aspects from that. The combat would be smooth and would be fluid, but it's not. It's very jank and it's very laggy. That's what I was experiencing when I was playing it. It just didn't feel very. It didn't feel very friendly to anybody, and I was confused, because if the game is trying to replicate one of the two games that I just had mentioned, you think they would have spent a little bit more time on that. And I didn't even get into the PvP, so let me just go ahead and say that. This is after literally 30 minutes of play, but in my 30 minutes of play, what I quite literally did was I ran across the map 6 times and talked to 6 different NPCs. And that was it. That was it. And for the people who are going to be oh, well, Zombie, you didn't even get into the meat and potatoes of all this. You're just barely scratching the surface. You only got an appetizer of the full 5-course meal that's coming with this game. And look, the first 30 minutes of a game is the most important. And whenever you are playing a game, any game, right, and the first 30 minutes are not that engaging, it's going to lose players. If a player is not going to sit there in the first 30 minutes of the game, they're not going to sit there for hours on end, right? So, whatever the introduction in the game is, it's a tutorial. Happy you guys put that in there. I'm not shitting on the tutorial, because, that's good. You should have one in there. But if you're going to go anywhere past that, maybe don't have it immediately jump into, oh, we'll run across the map and talk to NPCs and then do that for the next 20 minutes, because it just feels lazy and fetch questy. And fucking Bizarre Lineage all over again, man. And that was one of my complaints about Bizarre Lineage, was it just felt like you were doing fetch quests for the entire main storyline. It was not engaging. It was run across the map and then talk to this NPC and then run across the map and talk to this NPC. And why do we do that? I hate it when we do this shit. I know it's done in RPGs, but it's so fucking boring. You can get a more creative quest line, or introduce a new type of quest that you can do. Why are we doing the same fucking shit that we've been doing for the past 30 years in RPG gaming? It's outdated as fuck. But anyway, getting into a couple more things, the movement. I know a lot of people have been shitting on the movement for this game, and I think the movement isn't bad, okay? I don't think it's bad. I think the wall climbing is shit, because it completely kills all momentum. You get in a flow state, okay, when you're running across the map, and that's good, right? If you're gonna have fast-paced movement and this map is fucking massive and you want to, clear these massive distances where you're running across the map and, doing shit like that, you have to have it so that everything flows nicely together, and the wall climbing kills it for at least for me. Absolutely kills it. Everything else, I fuck with the movement. I do fuck with the movement. And also the world. The world is something I really enjoy, and that is something that you guys have done right. I will go ahead and say that. One of the reasons why I really liked Deep Woken, Rogue Lineage, was because the worlds had so much depth. Like, they were really in tune with what they were doing with their world. And, as someone who's been running a 3-year-long D&D campaign and has his own, homebrew world, this is something that I really, really enjoy. I really like it when you guys put attention to detail in here, because world building is awesome, and a lot of people are just going to skim by this and they're not going to think anything of it, but I like it. Don't let people tell you that this game does not have good world building, because from what I've seen, it's interesting. It has me hooked. I do want to know more about the world. However, the gameplay just needs something, because that is what I'm struggling the most with here. So yeah, if you want my brutally honest answer, I don't think you should pay for this early access. I don't think it's worth it. You're going to be paying $400 for a big disappointment, because if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's that engaging. They definitely have a lot of work to do. I'm happy they're not releasing this, because if this game released like it is right now, oh my god, people would be fucking flaming it. $400 for, or not $400, 400 Robux for this? You know what I mean? But, no, yeah. Don't buy, if I'm being honest, I as a content creator, I'm not going to promote a game that I don't think that you guys should play at the current moment, right? And for all the people that did buy early access, I mean, shit, bro, you bought it, you know what I mean? You can't be mad at the game if the game is bad, because you bought a early access Game Pass. Yeah, of course you're not going to fucking get everything that a full release person is going to get, because you're buying something that's incomplete. But yeah, don't, if it were me telling you guys, and if I'm being honest, I'm not saying the product is shit, I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying that it's probably not worth it in everybody's best interest to buy it now, because you're not going to get what you want out of it, because right now the game feels very unfinished, and that's the point. It's early access. This isn't an honest review. This is more like a before you buy. So take my words with wisdom, however you must. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Oh my god, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord in the bio below. We are a growing community, and we have a lot of people in here. And if you want to talk to me, you can also do that too. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. See ya.